Hello, this is Jesse from the future sharing a brief message from our sponsor, Anchor by Spotify. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast, with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your computer or phone. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need all in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. You don't even have to pay for stuff. That's the best part about things that are free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And now, back to the show.
Before we start the show, we want to ask you, the Disconnected family, to please share the show on social media and invite friends and family to listen. Enable the notification bell so you never miss an episode, and please rate us with 5 stars wherever you're listening to us right now to keep this awesome show going. Might as well do it right now, that's fresh on your mind, right? We thank you and appreciate you. Enjoy the show.
May not be suitable for younger listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, Disconnected family. As always, we welcome you to another edition of the Disconnected podcast. I am Angel, along with my other host and sister, Jessie.
Hello, I am other host and sister Jessie.
How are you, Jessie?
I'm good today. It's hot.
It's really
It's
hot.
toasty.
It's toasty hot. I don't like hot days.
Me neither.
I like cold days.
Yeah, those are nice. But
Yeah.
we live in California, so it's kind of, you can't avoid it.
Yeah, I know. So, how are you?
I'm good.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I mean, my foot kind of hurts a little
Why?
because I ran like 2 miles on the treadmill yesterday, but I think my sock was just like rubbing against my shoe. So my little toe it's like a rug burn on my little toe.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my shoulder. I'm hurt. My shoulder hurts.
Why?
I fell from the my longboard.
How did you just roll? You
I
forgot
was-
to tuck and roll?
I tucked and roll. I was just going too fast.
So I kept tucking and rolling.
Yeah, I went down a hill, and I felt very confident about it.
Okay.
And I was going too fast, and then I
Oh.
was like, "Wait, I don't know how to brake."
I don't know how to stop this thing.
And I was going too fast, and then I just decided to just jump
That was a bad
out of
terrible
the longboard. And I was in my mind, I was like, "Okay, I'm going fast, but if I jump and I just start moving my legs quickly." I might not.
You're like going like at least 15 miles per hour, and you're trying to run that speed.
Yeah, and then that wasn't very smart for me
So
to do.
you tripped over your own feet?
I tripped. I was going too fast. I tripped, and thank God there was grass in front of me, and I fell. I tugged and rolled, but I fell on my shoulder,
Uh-oh.
and there's like a big bump on my shoulder right now.
Oh.
I don't know if it's bone. I don't think it's bone because I wouldn't be able to
No,
move it.
if you dislocated your shoulder. Oh, I just heard
did you
that.
just hear that?
I don't know if the mic picked it up, but
No.
that was ouch. Okay. It's not dislocated because if it
No.
was, you wouldn't
Yeah.
be able to move.
So
It would be
maybe-
hanging off of the socket.
Yeah, so maybe it's just like a little bump.
Maybe it's a bruise. It's a really big bruise.
It's just a little, yeah, it's a big bruise, and I'm treating it. I'm just taking pills and getting high so it doesn't hurt. I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, it was a very traumatic experience.
I'm so scared now.
Yeah.
Are you getting back on the board or?
Of course, let me just give it 2 months maybe.
Yeah, but like take it slow. Like don't get overconfident on a board.
Yeah, I'm very confident when I'm on my longboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've seen me how I've fallen.
Yeah, I've seen you fall at least
various
10 times.
At least 10 times.
And they're all funny.
The one that I just couldn't do anymore, like afterwards, it was
It was
like
the one you almost did the splits.
Oh man, I was
And your
like,
foot got stuck
Yeah.
on. That was hilarious.
yeah.
You looked so graceful, but so
yeah,
chaotic
I'd
at
fallen
the
like
same time.
maybe 4 times when that happened.
Yeah.
But when I almost did the split, my buddy was like, all right, buddy, you know what? That's it.
We're done.
We're done for today.
Yes.
And I felt it on my groins.
Yeah,
on my groin.
your groin. It looked like you stretched it so much, and I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
it can keep going? You can keep going like that? That's impressive.
Yeah, I didn't know either. So
I didn't know I was that
Yeah.
flexible.
I found out that day. But I'm doing better now. This
Yeah.
happened on Saturday, so it still hurts,
Yeah.
but it's not broken. It's not dislocated.
No.
I was like thinking of going to like urgent care.
Because it hurt really bad.
Yeah, I had a little panic attack because I thought it was
Broken
or
dislocated.
dislocated, but then I was good.
Okay.
So,
Well, that's nice.
anyways, welcome back, Disconnected family, to another edition of the Disconnected podcast with Angel and Jesse.
Yes, the intro again. Sorry, we got a little sidetracked.
Jesse, let me ask you something.
Okay.
Do you believe in aliens?
Yes.
And have you seen a UFO at some point in your life?
No, but the galaxies are huge. There has to
Yes.
be something.
Or better yet, have you ever been abducted by aliens?
That, yes, I have.
Numerous times.
Numerous times. I've never seen one, but I've been abducted. I just know it.
Yeah. So I'm really excited for today's episode because it deals with the subject that we love, aliens. We'll talk about them, where the idea of UFOs come from, UFO organizations, the first sightings, and if that wasn't enough, we'll talk a little bit about this mysterious secret organization called the Men in Black.
Mm-hmm.
And no, we're not talking about the Men in Black, Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones.
Good movie, though.
Yeah, although, I have to admit there are some of them, they're very, very good movies, and they're all one of my favorite movies. So stay with us and enjoy the show. Without further ado, welcome to the Disconnected Podcast. Let's begin.
So when did the idea of UFOs first emerge?
Tell us when.
I will tell you when. I will show you. It was widely accepted that alien civilizations existed,
Okay.
and even among philosophers, scientists, and theologians in the Western world by the 18th century. So by then, people were already like, aliens are real.
They had an idea of
They
aliens.
had an idea of aliens. People had seen them, I guess, or there were just theories about it.
Mhm.
However, there are also theories that exist currently that they were mentioned in the Bible as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Isaiah chapter 6 verses 2 to 3 says, "Above him stood the seraphim. Each had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face, and with 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he flew. And one called to another and said, Holy, holy is the Lord of hosts, and the whole earth is full of his glory." So there are many Christians that believe that aliens are real, or many people actually believe that aliens are real.
Okay.
However, there are counter theories. Well, going back to the verse first. Sorry, I'm going all over the place. But going back to the verse first, there's this theory that it's like they're describing these angels that some people theorize that they were actually aliens,
Mhm.
or that is how aliens looked. So that's why some people are like, they look weird, and there's people who believe that it's not really angels that are being described in the Bible, but actually aliens.
Mhm.
However, there are many Christians who believe that aliens are just demons and fallen angels.
Ooh,
So that's a counter theory that many Christians have.
right.
And the reason that they are so hyped is because they are central to the great deception that will be used to explain the rapture. So they think that it's just a lie created by the devil, that it's like, oh, these are aliens, but in reality they're just demons
Just demons.
created to lie to people so that they don't believe in God or whatever, and they're not part of the rapture. The rapture is this like idea by Christians that one day Jesus will come back and people will just disappear.
Like Judgment Day.
Yeah, the judgment day. So some people will stay here on earth or like go to hell, and other people will go to heaven.
Mhm.
And it'll be like a split second. So people will just poof
Yeah, they would just
out of existence.
disappear.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's even some theories that the floors will be left on the floor.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the clothes will be left on the floor, not the floors.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
So
The
okay.
clothes,
Yeah.
like
Okay.
piles of clothes, will be left all over the earth.
Okay.
That's
like
I don't know.
like World of Worlds, the movie. Remember?
Yeah, like just like
they would just like the alien would
disintegrate.
just and okay.
Yeah, something like that. This deception, when the rapture happens, the media and people will say that so-called aliens abducted these people.
Mhm.
So that's what some Christians believe, that it's like, gonna be like, oh, they were abducted by aliens. But in reality, like, the people are being lied to, so they think they were aliens, but they're just left behind to rot in earth or hell or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's like
That's just some crazy
that's,
theories.
Yeah, it's just some really out there theories by some really extremist religious people.
Mhm.
But that's the thing that they really believe about aliens.
Right.
So I just found that really interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Like, but these are just theories. No one
Yeah.
really knows what's going to happen. By the 19th century is when people started reporting flying ships overhead. They would describe them as things that they were familiar with back then, which were just ships that floated on the sea. They would describe them because they didn't really see airplanes,
Right. Yeah.
so they would just describe them as like steamboats flying
In the
in the air.
air.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Which is interesting because, I mean, yeah, you don't have a concept of a flying thing, of an airplane.
When was this?
The 19th century.
The 19th.
So like
Okay,
1800s.
so there weren't planes or anything.
No.
So yeah. So what else are they? I mean, they would never imagine that. Obviously, planes wasn't a thing. So what else would they think it was?
Yeah.
Just ships floating.
Yeah,
Floating
just
ships.
Well, yeah. Because planes were invented in 1903.
Okay.
So that
Yeah.
was like way before planes.
Mhm.
So yeah, they didn't have a concept of planes. So they're like, oh, it's a ship.
Just a floating
It's a
ship.
steamboat in the air.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because they weren't describing them as like military airplanes or anything, because they weren't real.
Right.
They didn't exist. So how
Mhm.
do you explain that? It's just
Just a floating ship.
a floating steamboat. But it all changed after 1947. That's when things really started to get big about aliens. A pilot named by the name of Kenneth Arnold was flying his small plane near Mount Rainier in Washington state. As he was flying around, he said he saw some sort of glimmer or shine that caught his eye and was concerned that maybe he was going to have a collision with another aircraft. When he looked, he saw what he described as 9 very odd-shaped vessels flying in formation. So imagine
Okay.
you're just having like a normal day, you're just flying your ship, and you see something coming towards you.
No, that's scary.
Yeah, that's terrifying. Because I'm like, I'm gonna crash, and then all of a sudden you see something that you don't recognize flying towards you, in a formation too. They were synchronized. It wasn't just a random thing.
That's creepy.
Yeah, I would be terrified.
Yeah, me too.
After Arnold landed, he reported his sightings to authorities at a nearby airport and eventually talked to some reporters. When a reporter asked Arnold to describe how the things moved, he said, "They flew like a saucer would if you skipped it across the water."
Oh.
So they were moving like real
Like-
smooth and just like,
Oh, okay.
just very like, they knew how to fly and they knew what formation to be in. So
Mhm.
it was like something intelligent was flying these things.
What is it?
What was it though? Some very clever, enterprising journalists came up with the headline "Flying Saucers." That's where the term came from.
Okay.
Arnold never said this. He never said, "Oh, they were flying saucers." He just said they looked like saucers skipping across the water. So journalists were like, "Oh, okay,
Just a flying saucer.
they're flying saucers."
There it goes.
Yep. Within days, people across the country were reporting to have seen similar objects in the sky. So this story just blew up
Yeah.
across the country.
And people just started
Mass reporting these things.
uh-huh.
Yeah. Within months, it became a worldwide phenomenon. So it started like in a really Mount Rainier, which is not like, it's kind of famous in the United States, but it's not really like that big, I guess you can say. Like a lot of people know about it, but some people are like, I don't know where that is.
Mhm.
It started in a random place in Washington.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know where Mount Rainier? I think it became famous because of the
Because
flying
of-
saucer thing. But before that, it was just like
Just a normal
it was
mountain.
just a normal mountain place in Washington. And this story happened, and it just blew up, and it became a international thing.
Yeah.
There's another incident that is connected to this story that also happened in 1947, and I think you have a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's the Roswell incident of 1947. It's one of the most famous or sounded incidents that created so much controversy back in 1947.
Mm-hmm.
And still to this day, UFO enthusiasts and the whole world, including myself, have our doubts. You know,
Yes.
like we raise an eyebrow, like looking at the government, like, okay, government.
Okay, are you trying to cover something up?
Yeah, we'll believe you,
You're
whatever
being
you
very
say.
obvious about
Yeah.
the cover-up.
Yeah, so the Roswell incident is the 1947 recovery of balloon debris from a ranch near Corona, New Mexico, by United States Army Air Forces officers from Roswell Army Airfield. And the conspiracy theories decades later claiming that the debris involved a flying saucer and that the truth had been covered up by the United States government.
Yes.
Not the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a documentary on Showtime called UFO. Have you heard of it?
I haven't.
So you can watch the first episode for free on the Showtime channel on YouTube.
Hashtag not sponsored,
Yeah, we're not sponsored by YouTube nor Showtime.
but please sponsor us if you ever want us to.
So yeah, you can watch the first episode on Showtime, on the channel Showtime on YouTube. So there's this former Air Force intelligence officer, Richard Doty, who states that the craft that collided on their airfield were in fact aliens.
Mm-hmm.
There were apparently two crash sites. The first one in Corona, on the Roswell airfield, and the second one near Magdalena, New Mexico, but that one was found 2 years later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he states in the documentary, hashtag, what is it?
Quotes, not hashtag.
Sorry. He states in the documentary, quote, the one that crashed in Corona, they also found a live alien.
Oh.
That live alien was named Ava. It was a male. And he was transported to Los Alamos, where he lived out his life and died in 1952.
Okay.
But during that time he was with us, he shared with us countless information of what they have learned about the universe and what their technology is.
Well, yeah, their technology is super advanced.
Yeah. Their technology is probably estimated to be around 50,000 years ahead of us.
Yeah. That's
End quote.
insane.
Yeah.
If they can make it to other planets.
50,000
Dude,
years ahead of us.
Can I please just go on a ride? I don't want to do
please.
just please. You can make me forget it, but I just want to go on a ride, please. If there are any aliens
But
out there,
do you think we could handle it? Like, because just imagine how fast those ships go. The UFOs.
that's true. Their
There's just-
evolution is probably like it's years ahead.
Yeah, and maybe if they go like, I don't know how fast they would go.
Would it liquefy
but
me?
we would just turn into Jello or something. Cause
I would just be a drink.
A drink.
But if their technology is so advanced and they have abducted people, possibly, then
Yeah.
there's probably a space that I can be held in. I don't mind.
Or maybe they have something inside their ship that prevents them from melting.
Like
or,
the pressure is just
it's just-
regulated.
yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Damn.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Damn.
Yeah. So on July 8, 1947, Roswell Army Airfield issued a press release stating that they had recovered a flying disc. The Army quickly retracted the statement and said
Yeah.
instead that the crashed object was simply a conventional water balloon. Weather balloon.
It was just a water balloon.
It was just a water balloon.
It was just a really big water balloon filled with just a bunch of metal parts.
In February 1978, UFO researcher Stanton Friedman interviewed Jesse Marcel, who was the only person who known to have accompanied the Roswell debris from where it was recovered to Fort Worth, where reporters saw material that was claimed to be part of the recovered object. Marcel's statements contradicted those he made to the press in 1947, in which he stated that they were just debris from a weather balloon. On September 20, 1980, the TV series In Search Of aired an interview where Marcel described his participation in the 1947 press conference. And he says on the interview, quote, "They wanted some comments from me, but I wasn't at liberty to do that. So all I could do was keep my mouth shut."
Yeah.
And General Ramey is the one who discussed the incident, told the newspapers, the newsman, what it was, and to forget about it. It is nothing more than a weather observation balloon. Of course, we both knew differently. End quote.
Yeah.
So, why is the government hiding all this evidence of alien life from us?
That's the thing. I don't know. And yet they are so obsessed with it.
Yeah,
They are so
very, yeah.
Why are you so obsessed, government?
Please.
Get a life.
Yeah, send us an email.
Send us an email.
So, I mean, I guess the most logical reason for me is because maybe if they made everything public, then it would cause, I don't know, chaos.
Mass hysteria?
Or people would get scared, or the world would turn upside down.
Probably. I
Nope.
guess they're just trying to keep control of people's fears and paranoia.
Yeah, but just think about it. If we finally know that these otherworldly beings exist, we could come close as a planet and actually increase the likelihood of peace on Earth, right?
I don't know. Or we can go like the completely different way and just take
Yeah.
advantage of that knowledge.
Or the existence of ETs could bring us all together as Earthlings, united not by nationality but by planetarity.
Yeah.
You know, we could connect with the cosmos, look at it with a new sort of wonder, and a gratitude that none of us are alone.
That is also true. It would be so cool to know that there is life out there, cuz like that just opens up so much for science and
Yeah.
for learning just so much cooler things that
Yeah.
there is on this earth.
I mean, that what I said, it's like that's like because well, I consider myself a good person, but just on the other hand, the
There's
bad
some
people.
bad people out there.
Imagine if they had access to all that technology.
Yeah.
How would they use it?
That is also true.
So it's just like a little.
It's a tough situation.
It's a tough situation. I mean, I would do good if I had that
Yeah.
control.
I just would
or-
want to learn.
Just and do good. But just some people they just want to do bad things, and they're a-holes, and
And they just want to make money out of whatever
Yeah.
they can find.
Yeah,
and that
'cause-
would be like that would make
Yeah.
so much money on this earth. But
just
I
people so
get
greedy.
it. I get if there's life out there and they have seen the history of this planet. I get why they don't want us to know. I
Yeah.
understand
Yeah.
the
so-
fear.
But I mean, I would really want to get my hands on that new technology.
I
Or
know.
imagine just fly like a saucer, like a
Dude.
UFO, like
What if they have like blasters like they do in Star Wars?
just blast the mountains,
Yeah, just like shoot lasers.
shoot lasers.
Oh my gosh. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah.
But yes, that would be pretty awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the Roswell incident of 1947.
Yeah, and so similar, it happened around the same time as the Arnold one
Yeah.
in Mount Rainier. The thing is, the person who found the saucer in Roswell, he had not heard about anything that happened in Mount Rainier yet.
Oh, okay.
So there was a person, his name was William Brazel,
Okay.
who found one of the crash sites in like near his farm, and he had not heard of aliens at all. It wasn't until after it blew up that he's like, "Oh,
What
I
is this?
found something similar." People were getting rewarded if they found like crash sites, I guess.
Do you think the government knew already?
That there was a crash site.
No, like about aliens or people didn't know, right?
No, people didn't know.
But the government, do you think they knew already, or
I don't think so. You
so
know what?
It's just
I think
like everything new for
it,
everybody.
it was new for everybody, and they
Mm.
were just trying to get some kind of control.
right.
That's,
Also, maybe that's why they were offering like money or rewards to
Yeah.
anyone who would say like
yeah, because
bring
they were
information?
probably desperate to get
Yeah.
information first,
okay,
so they could control what information would get out to the public.
okay, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, or they did know, and that was part of the plan.
Yeah.
So, what happened afterwards? What happened after 1947 when things were just blowing up? First were government-sponsored investigators in the U.S., but specifically within the Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
So, starting in 1947, the Air Force set in motion a number of different projects that all basically wanted to answer one question. Do UFOs represent a national security threat? It didn't want to prove that they existed for scientific reasons.
Mm-hmm.
It was if it was a national security threat to the United States.
And to the world. I mean,
No, they didn't care about the world. They cared
well, I
about the
mean,
United States.
right.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
They just wanted to know if it was a threat to the nation. There were 3 known projects throughout, all the way from 1947 to 1969. The first 2 were Project Sign and Project Grudge, that were both short-lived. Sign went from around 1948 to 1949, and Grudge went from 1949 to 1951.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't really get a lot of things done.
Yeah.
However, Project Blue Book was the code name for the systematic study of unidentified flying objects by the United States Air Force. It went from March 1952 to its termination on December 17th, 1969.
Oh, okay. So
It was 17 years.
yeah. What was the Project Blue Book?
So thousands of UFO reports were collected, analyzed, and filed. There were, let me see, I had a number of how many reports they had.
Like sightings?
Yeah,
UFO sightings?
UFO sightings. Oh man, I don't think I got the number, but it was just in the thousands.
Okay.
Oh, here it is. They collected 12,618 UFO reports.
In the United States.
Mm-hmm.
12,000, what is it?
12,618 reports.
Wow. From those 17 years?
From those 17 years.
Ooh.
And concluded that most of them were misidentifications of natural phenomena, so clouds, stars, blah, 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 or conventional aircraft.
So people were just, it didn't matter what they looked at, what.
They're like, oh,
Like a bird.
a spaceship, and it's just a cloud.
Yeah, or a bird. And
But it's interesting that most of them were identified this way. It says most, but not all.
okay.
A number of reports could be explained by flights of formerly secret reconnaissance airplanes, like the U-2 or the A-12. These are just really top-notch military airplanes.
And people were mistaking them for UFOs?
Yeah, people were
Okay.
mistaking them for UFOs.
I mean, because, yeah, they were all scared, and they were, everything they looked, like, every time they look at the sky, they were, like, waiting to see something, and they looked at something they didn't know, and they would just be like, oh, look, a UFO.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why they were, like, maybe all those 12,000 sightings.
Interesting.
Very.
It's just interesting how none of these came to be to actual aliens.
You see, that's why the government doesn't publicize all the documents, because then we would all be like,
oh, aliens everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally just a crow flying through the sky.
like, is my mom an alien? You know?
It could be. You don't know. So reports were classified as unexplained. They couldn't explain it when they didn't know what it was.
Oh.
So they're like, we can't explain it. We don't know.
It was just like,
It's
you know,
unexplained. Whatever.
Next page.
So the Air Force supplies the following summary of its investigations. The first one is, no UFO reported, investigated, and evaluated by the Air Force was ever an indication of threat to our national security.
Mhm.
The second one was, there was no evidence submitted to or discovered by the Air Force that sightings categorized as unidentified represented technological developments or principles beyond the range of modern scientific knowledge.
What?
So let me just say that in other words. There was no evidence that was classified as unidentified or unexplained
Okay.
that was proof of alien technology.
Okay.
So when they were saying, "Oh, we can't explain it," it's not proof that it is aliens. It was just something they couldn't explain.
Okay.
I guess. The last one being, there was no evidence indicating that sightings categorized as unidentified were extraterrestrial vehicles. So another thing, there was no advanced technology found, and there was no aliens found.
Okay.
So that was the
So-
summary of Project Blue Book, like the overall investigation of this project. So a base that was really big during this time as well was Area 51.
Okay.
Everyone knows about Area 51.
Yes.
If you don't, you're living under a rock.
Or you're an alien and you don't want to
I'm
tell us.
pretty sure aliens know about Area 51. Let me tell you. It's not just a mysterious military training compound. Area 51 is a place devoted to tactical air maneuvers and counterintelligence, and it's right next to a nuclear testing site. So, what kinds of things were getting it mistaken for UFOs? So, it's actually that stealth bombers and drones, military decoy flares, weapon tests, military training exercises, and all weird classified air things.
Air things.
People saw that. And so people were like, oh my gosh, aliens. But really, it was just the government testing all of these things in the air. And people didn't know what it was because it's secret military stuff.
Okay, was this by Area 51?
Yeah, so Area 51, it's a place where they were testing military air stuff.
Yeah.
And people didn't know what it was because it was a testing thing, so it was new. There were probably prototypes. People had never seen them before. And so they're like, I've never seen that thing in the sky. That's an alien.
Right.
So that's where the thing sort of started to be like, oh, they keep aliens in there, or they keep alien technology in there. In an infamous 1989 interview with Las Vegas news station KLAS, whistleblower Bob Lazar alleged a potential link between Area 51 and aliens, making KLAS the very first mainstream outlet to report the connection. But Lazar believed that the foreign air technology belonged to aliens and that Area 51 was entirely designed to capture, reverse engineer, and study alien aircraft and aliens themselves. So, this person that worked for Area 51 or like knew stuff about it was like, yeah, all that military things that they're creating to protect the country, they're getting those things from aliens and alien technology.
Ooh.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
So people were seeing alien things in the sky, but they were created by the people who captured aliens.
So the Area 51 must have like really, really advanced weapons, huh?
Yeah, that's the theory, that they have alien technology in there and they were testing it and people would see it.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what? The publication in 1980 of the Roswell incident by Charles Berlitz. So going back to the Roswell thing, the book examined the 1947 Roswell incident. We already talked about that. It
Weather
also,
balloon?
yeah, it also tapped into the 80s occult paranoia by alleging a complex government UFO cover-up. And while they didn't explicitly mention Area 51, rumors of vast labyrinthine underground military compounds in the desert began to take shape. So there was this book by Charles Berlitz and William Moore that talked about the 1947 Roswell incident, but it also alluded to a military compound in the desert that created alien technology or like reverse engineered it.
There in that area? In that site?
Yeah, in that book. It alluded to it. It was like there's probably a military compound somewhere in the desert, which is Nevada, near Las Vegas, that is creating alien stuff and alien technology.
Yeah, I believe that.
In recent years, 2019, known as Storm Area 51, they can't stop us all. So this is just a...
Oh, yeah, I remember that. They were trying to like...
raid Area 51.
Yeah.
This is just a random thing that I found and that I saw on the news and I saw on the internet.
Yeah, when I read that, I was like, you're so stupid because they're going to get killed.
Yeah. There was I think 7 people were arrested.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because they actually tried to go
They
in.
tried it?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, dude.
People were crowding around Area 51.
But just imagine, like, even... There's even signs, like...
yeah.
Like
no trespassing.
No trespassing.
You will be prosecuted.
or killed or something like that. But, like, come on, like...
Yeah, people...
What did I start it? Like, the raid thingy? Like, Twitter? Or...
Yeah, Facebook. It was a Facebook event.
It was a Facebook event?
It was a Facebook event. And the title was Storm Area 51. They can't stop us all. So if a bunch of people show up, we just all run in and they can't stop every single one of us.
But they did.
No, yeah, people didn't really run in. They were just crowding around it. Yeah, it started as a Facebook event and a series of music festivals and took place around September 20th, 2019 in the desert area surrounding Area 51.
Right.
But yeah, that was just a fun fact about Area 51 that I really liked. But overall, the theory is that they capture aliens and their technology, they reverse engineer it, and it becomes military-grade weapons and aircraft.
Hey, probably aliens were like just visiting our planet one day, and they're the good ones,
And they like...
we are the greedy ones, we're the bad ones, and now we're in control of the aliens, and we're abducting them
Yeah,
to steal their technology and
Yeah.
all of their intelligence or wisdom.
exactly.
So that's because
It makes sense for the military to do that.
because they want power. They want
Yeah.
like the U.S., like the United States. They want to always be number one.
Yeah.
like,
Imagine
globally.
what they do to other countries of this planet.
if they had that type of technology.
No, but like it's a thing, it's a known thing that back then scientists would use test subjects like people.
Mhm.
So the military must have used prison
Like prisoners.
war prisoners
Okay.
as test subjects. So
Right.
imagine what they do to other humans. Imagine to someone they don't even think they are human, what they would do to
Yeah,
them.
exactly. They're like,
Terrible things.
yeah, that just. I mean, that would suck, but it is what it is.
I do
it's true.
think that there is some weird,
There's just some weird
Shenanigans going on.
shit happening here in the U.S.
yes, always
Always.
and forever.
Yeah.
So the second thing that happened after 1947, went from 1947 to 1950, a lot of people were just fascinated by this event. However, most people just thought that instead of aliens, they were just looking at secret weapons of the U.S. military or secret weapons of the Soviets. So
Oh.
this was during Cold War.
Mhm.
1947 was like peak Cold War era.
Mhm.
And so a lot of people their theories weren't that these were aliens. It was just that it was technology by the US government and the Soviet Union. However, there were also a lot of UFO organizations that sprouted from this. Some of the ones that are still active are Center for the Study of Extraterrestrial Intelligence, or To the Stars, or Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force. That's a mouthful. These are organizations dedicated purely to the existence or the proof of existence
of aliens.
and they have conventions sometimes. They have meetings. It's a club.
Yeah.
It's a club of people who believe in aliens. It would be nice to go to a convention,
That would be nice.
an alien convention.
Just be around all those
people who just have
believers.
like theories, like crazy theories about aliens.
theories or even people that were abducted or
Yeah,
claimed
or
to be
saw them.
abducted or saw them. Yeah.
Yeah, but these are like organizations that got big during this time.
Yeah. I mean, there wasn't any cell phones or technology we have today, so it would just
Meet up in person.
meet up in person.
And be people who believed in aliens together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Up until the 90s, the Cold War played a fundamental formative role in how people in the U.S. imagined UFOs, both in terms of how we think about humanity's prospects technologically, but also the fears and anxieties surrounding the Cold War. So the Cold War wasn't exactly like any shots were fired. It was just like the impending doom of nuclear bombing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So a lot of people, it fed to a lot of people's paranoia. The alien thing mixed with the Cold War. A lot of people were just scared during that time.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Just-
So it really that's why it got so big, because a lot of people were just on edge all the time. And then they heard about aliens and they're like, "Oh my god, I'm
Yeah,
even
they
more
were-
scared."
they were all paranoid.
Yeah, people were just very paranoid during this time.
Cold War and then alien invasion. Like, come on, give us a break.
Yeah, please. So after the Cold War ended, a massive interest towards aliens started to die off.
Okay.
So it makes sense. People are more relaxed. They're like, okay, we're not going to be bombed by the Soviet Union or abducted by aliens. It's nice.
Yeah.
Life is nice.
Life is nice.
However, in 2017, a secret UFO project was revealed in the Pentagon. So the Pentagon was holding a secret UFO project. The Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program was unclassified but unpublicized investigatory effort funded by the United States to study unidentified flying objects, UFOs, or unexplained aerial phenomena. The program began in 2007, with funding of $22 million.
Okay, just like, a couple bucks.
Yeah. They spent it $22 million from 2007 to 5 years later, 2012. So there was a 5-year program that spent $22 million US dollars.
So to start with, $22 million.
Yes. Hey, people who pay their taxes, you funded a UFO program.
We funded
a UFO program.
We pay taxes.
Yeah, well, I didn't pay taxes during that time, but there's probably still in debt because of this. So we're still paying.
Yeah.
We're still paying it.
Yeah. So.
Yes.
Congrats.
Yep. According to the Department of Defense, the AATIP, which is just the abbreviation of AATIP, ended in 2012 after 5 years. However, reporting suggested that U.S. government programs continue to exist. There's one called Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force. That is a military program confirmed in June 2020, very recent, that works on similar projects.
That's the U.S. thing, right?
This is a U.S. program.
U.S. program.
That it continued to exist even after the other program ended in 2012. It was confirmed in 2020 that it does the same thing.
Okay.
So we're probably still paying for the government to learn about aliens, and they don't tell us anything.
No.
Yeah.
We're funding it, but we don't know what it is.
Yeah, we're funding it, but we don't know what it is. Exactly. But yeah, that was a long history of aliens and some of the beginnings and what it is up until now.
Yeah, but this is definitely a very interesting topic.
Yeah.
There are people who live believing that it is only us in this universe.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, others who are sure that these strange beings live among us.
Mm-hmm.
So last September marked the 60th anniversary of a middle-aged couple made up of Betty and Barney Hill, who experienced the strangest episode of their lives by confessing that they had been abducted by aliens.
Yeah, so we're going to start getting into some first-hand stories.
Oh, yeah.
Not just military theories.
And these are cool. I really like them.
Those are fascinating.
Yeah. So after 16 months of marriage, Betty and Barney saw this trip through Montreal and Niagara Falls as their delayed honeymoon. Just want to unwind a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
We're a couple. We haven't had, time for ourselves. So let's just go to Canada.
Yeah, you just want to spend time with your spouse and
a little getaway.
Go crazy.
Yeah, so they left so impulsively that they had no time to go to the bank before it closed for the weekend. They got in their car with less than $70 in their pockets. So it was just like hey, I have an idea. Let's go to Canada,
Mm-hmm.
So on the last night of their 3-day trip, the tired couple sipped coffee in a Vermont diner to recharge before driving back home.
Okay.
Barney figured if they pushed through, they could beat the wind and rain from an approaching hurricane. So they left the diner around 10 p.m., estimating that they could reach their red-framed house in Portsmouth, New Hampshire between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. at the latest.
Okay.
They were driving to their home when suddenly a flash from the sky on that dark September night blinded them for a moment.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
Yeah, believing it to be a shooting star, Barney stopped the car on the shoulder and they got out to look at the sky with the binoculars they were carrying. In recent months, Betty, the wife, had become very fond of ufology, especially since her sister had explained to her that she had once seen a UFO.
Okay, so yeah.
So she was like...
She was really into it.
She was really into it, yeah. The wife was... she was convinced that the flash they had seen was a flying saucer that came from outer space. But Barney did not believe too much in those matters, insisting that they get back in the car, fearing that a bear would appear,
yeah,
which was
that
very
is a
common.
Valid fear.
Yeah, because it was a very mountainous area.
Yeah.
Where they were.
And bears are notorious to approach people.
Yes, especially like in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
She insisted that Barney also looked through the binoculars, and according to what she reported the next day, they had above them a disc-shaped flying object with a large number of flashing lights of various colors.
Oh.
They got into the car and headed towards the point where the UFO seemed to be, having strange sensations and hearing indescribable sounds. Suddenly, they no longer remembered anything else, but without knowing how, they found themselves entering the town of Portsmouth with the car.
Whoa, okay.
So
they just have a...
They just don't remember what happened for 2 hours.
Wow.
2 hours having passed without having the remotest idea about what had happened in that period of time.
Yeah.
Another thing that alarmed them was that their clothes were torn and dirty.
What?
Their watches stopped working. Barney's shoes were strangely scuffed and Betty's dress was ripped.
Whoa, okay.
The incident will also become the first ever widely publicized alien abduction account and shape how stories like it were told and understood from then on.
Yeah.
So they didn't really know what had happened to them, and they decided to write down everything they could remember on a piece of paper. The flash of light, the shape of the saucer, the sounds they heard, and the sensations they experienced. So they decided to write everything down.
Mm-hmm.
It was not until a day later, on the morning of September 21st, that Betty decided to phone and asked to speak to someone in charge of the U.S. Air Force in order to explain her strange experience. The next morning, she received a call from Major Paul W. Henderson, to whom she explained what had happened in all kinds of detail. What she remembered, obviously.
Yeah.
And the military's report was that any type of extraterrestrial sightings or contact had been ruled out.
Okay.
So they just didn't do anything.
They didn't believe her.
No. Most likely confused the planet Jupiter with the UFO.
But how is the planet Jupiter like right on top of your car?
Exactly.
The planet just came down.
So that's what they said.
What,
The Air
planet
Force.
Jupiter has like a bunch of flashing
lights,
different colored lights. They have just RGB around the planet.
Yeah, so they didn't take them seriously. So the armed forces shelved the matter and closed the case.
Yeah, they're not. That makes sense. They're
Yeah.
not gonna be like, oh yeah, you definitely saw aliens.
Yeah, so they just closed the case, if there was ever even a case in the first place.
There
Because
probably wasn't.
No. So, but Beatty and Barney Hale, they didn't agree with that resolution, contacting some local journalistic media in order to explain everything that happened and publicize their experience. They wanted to be heard, you know?
Yeah, obviously.
Because that, if that happened to you, you wouldn't be like, oh, okay, well, the officer just told me that it was Jupiter, so I'm just gonna
accept that and move on with my life. But how do you move on with your life when that happened to you?
Yeah, so they weren't.
They wanted answers, or they wanted someone to listen to their story.
Yeah, so they wanted to be heard. They wanted to prove that this was real,
Yeah.
But there were many details about what happened that eluded them and that they could not remember clearly. So they decided to meet with psychiatrist Benjamin Simon, who through regressive hypnosis assured them that he could get all the information they were missing.
Okay.
What's with hypnosis?
I don't know.
The
We've been
last
talking
few
a lot
episodes?
about people getting hypnotized.
Yeah. So through those sessions, they began to explain details that until then had not been said, such as the description of the alleged ETs, 1.5 meters tall, with grayish skin, without any hair, a pear-shaped head, large eyes, and a small mouth and nose.
Okay.
Through months of weekly sessions, Simon, the psychiatrist, helped the couple piece together what they think had happened. A vessel had landed on the Hill's car, putting them to sleep. Afterward, gray beings walked them up a long ramp into the spacecraft.
Okay.
So that's what the psychiatrist got from them from hypnosis. Yeah. Once inside, the Hills were separated, taking turns in an examination room that had curved walls and a large light hanging from the ceiling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a hospital room.
Yeah, exactly. Each was asked to climb up on a metal table. The table was so short that Barney's legs hung over the side.
Just didn't know how big humans were.
Yeah. So during the examination, the beings removed Betty and Barney's clothes, plucked strands of their hair, took clippings of their nails, and scraped their skin.
Oh, ow.
Yeah, they were taking samples from
Yeah,
them.
yeah, but still.
So each sample was placed on a clear material, similar to like a glass slide.
Mm-hmm.
Needles connected to long wires probed to their heads, arms, legs, and spines. One large needle, around 4 to 6 inches long, was inserted into Betty's belly.
Oh.
This pregnancy test left her twisting in pain. So it was a pregnancy test that these beings were
They were trying to
performing on Betty.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so she said that she was it was very painful and they did it through her belly.
Oh, ow.
Throughout, a being Barney and Betty called the leader watched from the side.
Yeah.
After Betty's examination ended, the beings rushed back into her room, excited. Like, yay, we got samples, you know?
They're just like skipping.
Yeah. They discovered that Barney's teeth could be removed. She laughed, Betty, because she explained that Barney had dentures.
Oh,
Yeah, a fact of human aging the being struggled to understand.
that's
Yeah,
kind
so
of
they
funny. They
so
were
they-
just fascinated by like the most basic
Yeah,
things
like
that we
their
have.
teeth can come out.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
god, we can remove their teeth.
In one, like all of them. I can
Yeah.
hold them in my hand.
But he had dentures.
That's hilarious.
So later, along with the leader, Betty asked where the craft had flown, admitting she knew little of the universe. The being joked with her, saying, "If you don't know where you are, there wouldn't be any point in telling you where I am." That's what the leader said.
Oh, so it was able to communicate
Yeah. So
with her.
Later, under hypnosis, she drew a star map shown to her on the ship.
Oh,
Yeah.
they have the stars mapped out. That is
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, dude, that is very fascinating.
Yes.
Yeah. During the following months, the Hill couple appeared on all kinds of television shows, offered dozens of interviews to the press, and became two media characters. The case of Betty and Barney Hill is recorded as the first to refer to an alien abduction. In 1969, Barney Hill died as a result of lung cancer, and Betty would decide from that moment to disappear from the media spotlight and lead a quieter and more anonymous life.
Yeah.
Many are those who branded them as just plain liars,
Just crazy.
you know,
people.
and even pointed her as insane. Like, no, she's just crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so despite this, the strange events supposedly experienced by this couple served to inspire numerous literary stories, movies, and television series, which currently still take data and references for what they explained.
Yeah, there's so much UFO and alien content
Yeah.
in popular media that is just probably inspired by all of these. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, it's inspired by all of these
Yeah,
stories.
this was a cool story. I really liked it.
I love that so much.
Yeah, and we have to have an open mind when we talk about these inexplicable events, you know? I do believe this was true. Just imagine all the UFO sightings that happen around the globe every day. There is a National UFO Reporting Center in the United States which documents sightings of unexplained aerial phenomena all over the world. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, there was a dip in 2018 with a little less than 4,000 sightings. There were more than 6,000 in 2019 and over 7,000 in 2020.
Yeah, so they're getting bigger for some
Yeah.
reason.
You can even file an online report of a sighting on this site.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Since its founding in 1974, the National UFO Reporting Center, or the NUFORC, has served as a non-judgmental hub where you can share via hotline or a written report any potentially otherworldly experience you've had. The online archive contains thousands of these stories, which range from UFO and alien sightings to other unexplained phenomena.
Yeah.
The New Fork doesn't question the veracity of the reports, and it doesn't always speculate about possible causes either. In fact, the organization encourages a healthy skepticism about what you read on its site. So, do you want to know what are the top 5 states with the most UFO sightings?
Okay, can I guess what the top one is? For first one?
Okay.
Can I
Yeah.
guess- is it Ohio?
No, it's not Ohio.
Dang it.
That's like your best guess.
Yeah, it's my best guess.
um, you have to keep in mind that almost 3/4 of all UFO sighting reports in the United States occur between 4 p.m. and midnight,
Yeah, because the lights are off. So
Yeah.
you can-
and tend to peak between 9 and 10 p.m. Just like food for thought next time you're out scoping for alien life.
yeah, just those are the prime
Yeah.
hours for
Yeah,
alien
just in case
sighting.
you guys want to, just
Go outside, look at the stars, maybe look for a flying
Or just-
saucer.
hunt an alien or something.
Don't hunt aliens. That's rude.
Adopt them.
Adopt them. Take care of them. Take them into your homes.
So the number of sightings I'm about to share to you are based on the New Fork site statistics since its founding in 1974.
Mm-hmm.
So on the number 5 spot is New York.
New York.
Yeah, with 3,840 UFO sightings.
Oh.
When an electrical surge and explosion at a Con Ed substation in Queens lit up the sky in December of 2018, many were sure the blue haze was a sign of alien life. Less debunked than that, however, is New York's Hudson Valley UFO, a December 31, 1982 sighting by hundreds of onlookers of a V-shaped collection of multicolored lights connected by a triangular fuselage moving deliberately and without a sound across the night sky.
Yeah, so it was multiple ships in a formation?
Yeah, in a V-shape.
Like, kind of like how Arnold in Mount Rainier saw?
Yeah, exactly.
Like they fly in formation?
Yes.
That
This was in 1982, December 31st.
40 years later.
Yeah, this was in New Year's Eve. So
Oh,
maybe there's an explanation for that.
they were celebrating.
Maybe
And they
they-
wanted to go out for a fly? That's a thing.
Yeah, that's a thing, right?
I think so.
So number 4 is Texas.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, with 3,848 UFO sightings since 1974.
Okay.
Several of Texas' most famous recordings of UFO activity had multiple witnesses, garnering more credibility than other, one-off documentation and raising additional unanswered questions. Such was the case in January 2008 when dozens of residents in the tiny town of Stephenville, Texas, reported white lights floating over Highway 67 in a single arc that then moved silently into vertical parallel lines.
Again, the formation flying.
Yeah. Although the Air Force claimed F-16s had been flying in that proximity at the time, eyewitnesses disputed those claims, saying the lights were far too advanced for such a simple explanation.
Yeah. Either it was aliens or it was alien technology that was stolen by the military and they were testing it.
Exactly.
Bro.
Number 3, Washington,
Oh, that makes sense.
with 4,352 UFO sightings. Home to the first filmed evidence of a UFO, Washington is no stranger to close encounters of the third kind.
Mm-hmm.
On June 21st, 1947, Harold A. Dahl reported to authorities that his son had been injured and his dog killed by flying debris from 4 to 6 circular objects in what became known as the Maury Island incident.
Oh, so something fell off of the ship by
Yeah,
accident and
yeah.
it hit Boy and his dog?
Yes. So a witness was also apparently threatened by characters wearing all black,
Oh.
which became the inspiration for the popular Men in Black movies decades later.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Florida, with 5,826 UFO sightings.
Uh-huh.
Floridians count many believers among them, and hundreds of folks have come forward with tales of holograms, abductions, odd spacecraft, lights in the sky, and everything in between over the years. Many UFO sightings have been debunked, including two 2018 incidents of a butterfly mistaken for an alien craft over a Floridian swamp, and Tallahassee parachuters who got confused with UFOs.
Oh, nice. That's great.
And number one, can you guess what state lies in the number one spot with the most UFO sightings?
Kansas.
California.
California?
With 10,333 UFO sightings.
I would honestly think it was somewhere in the Midwest, somewhere in like Ohio, Wisconsin, Kansas. Those states where it's just nothing lives there. I'm so sorry.
I know.
Nothing lives there.
A research report has revealed that San Diego has the second most supernatural sightings in the state of California.
Yeah.
According to Great Lakes Stakes, California has the highest number of paranormal experiences in the U.S. with over 22,045 sightings, 15,072 UFO sightings reported in the Golden State. As of 2022, the city of San Diego has at least 596 sightings of both UFOs and ghosts.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I love that for us.
With LA, Los Angeles, topping the list at 653.
Okay.
Yeah, there was one report. I'm sorry. We're done with that. that I found that pretty cool. Like, the states and everything.
And like San Diego just being like right there at the top.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's comforting.
There was one reported UFO sighting on April 21st at 9:24 p.m. Submitted to this website, the National UFO, the National UFO Reporting Center. The location, Mansfield, Ohio.
Oh, Ohio.
Is it OH? Is that Ohio?
Yeah, that's Ohio.
Okay, Ohio. OH.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. The shape of UFO was like a cigar-shaped.
Like a long tube.
Long tube, yeah. And duration, 5 minutes. That's a long time.
To see a UFO for 5 minutes. Sometimes people just catch a glimpse of it.
Yeah. And the characteristics that the people described the object was there were lights on the object. It was at least a mile long.
Oh, and that's a big cigar.
Yeah, and it was all lit up. A lot of lights.
Oh, damn.
So the witness recounts his experience as follows. I looked up, and about 20 or 30,000 feet in the sky was probably about a mile long. This very long cigar-shaped object moving from east to west. I ran into the house and grabbed my mother just in time for her to see this object fade off into the west, just as shocked as I was.
Damn. So 2 people saw it.
Yeah, 2 people saw it.
Which makes it a little bit more believable than just a random person seeing.
But why would he get his mother? Like,
maybe it's the first person that was in the house.
Get your phone.
When was this?
This was April 29th. But it doesn't say when.
Maybe it was not during phone era. Maybe there were phones, but they were like the little like crappy.
The crappy, the ones that didn't have cameras, maybe.
Yeah, so it makes sense why you would grab another person. Like in modern era, when you see something interesting, the first thing you do is reach for your phone. Before phones, you would reach for another human being.
Yeah. In this case, his mother.
Maybe it's like he ran into the house and he's like, first person I see, my mom. Grab her.
Exactly. So, another sighting posted on the site was from a couple here in San Diego.
Okay.
Who saw what seemed like an airplane at first glance, but ended up being something out of this world.
Oh.
So this occurred March 21st, 2022 at 7:53 p.m.
Last month?
Yes. Location, San Diego, California.
Oh, here last month?
The shape was a circle-shaped object, and it lasted less than 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah, those are usually the proper amount of time you see a UFO, not 5 minutes.
No. And they described it as it had lights on the object, and it was like a horseshoe-like shaped.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's an interesting shape.
Like half a circle.
Yeah, like a
horseshoe.
It's a horseshoe.
Yeah. So, this is what this person, the witness, stated or
reported.
Yeah. I was out with my wife and I happened to glance up because I like to watch the planes taking off from the airport. So
there's a lot of planes. The airport is right
he
there.
must live like right next to the airport. I knew right away it was not a plane by the way it moved, and I immediately took out my cell phone and began recording. And what I have is this round white light. It came in at incredible speed while also stopping and then darting off at an impossible speed. When I reviewed the video, I zoomed in as much as I could, and what I got, I consider to be amazing. It clearly shows a metallic object and also this horseshoe-shaped ring of light that I imagine has something to do with its propulsion. My email is blah 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 blah. And, Now I found this. It was very cool.
Yeah.
We live in San Diego, and
is there a way to contact this person?
no, because he put his email, but on the side they just deleted the email and the phone number.
Is there? I'm kind of curious.
I'll give you all the information like of the site, and because
I kind of want to reach out,
dude. I know, right? And you get on this site, and there's like
thousands of
reports of witnesses, and you're gonna spend like a lot of time just looking at it. And you can go by state or by city.
Yeah, it'd be nice to like maybe like email this person or like.
Yeah, I know, but I don't think they put like personal information.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, because it's like you can like go like anonymously.
Hey, if you, oh god, I don't know if they'll listen to this episode, but reach out to us if you're this person.
Like eventually, if you're that person that I just read the story, if you're that person, please reach out to us.
I would be so excited and fascinated to talk to you about this.
Yeah, our email is thedisconnectedpod@gmail.com.
Yeah, we're social media. We're everywhere. Please, if you listen to this, please reach out. That'd be so cool.
Yeah. Wow, you got very excited.
Because I love aliens and I love space.
Now, I found this next sighting very cool because it happened in the middle of the ocean while in a cruise ship.
Oh.
So this occurred on February 25th, 2022 at 4:05 a.m.
This is recent too.
Yes. So the location at sea in Long Beach, 3 hours of California.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were at the ocean.
Yeah.
So this person described the shape of this, what is it, anomaly or UFO as just like formation, like many lights. And the duration was 2 minutes.
That's long?
Yeah. And he described it as there was an aura or haze around the object. Entities were seen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We were on a cruise ship approximately 3 hours out of Long Beach, California. Sighted 2 glowing orbs and 1 beneath the surface. We were on the cruise ship Carnival Panorama returning to Long Beach from the Mexican Riviera. We were approximately 3 hours from docking when I awoke at a few minutes after 4 a.m. to relieve myself.
Okay.
We were in a balcony cabin on the 8th floor. Returning to bed, I decided to look out the cabin curtains, which were closed, to see if I could see the lights of the city. When I pulled them back, I couldn't believe my eyes. There were 2 glowing orbs holding relatively steadily fairly close to level with our cabin. I opened the balcony doors to get a better view, and they slowly started to move towards the front of the ship. They appeared to be less than 100 yards from the ship. I hollered at my wife, "Holy crap, do you believe in UFOs?" Fortunately, she was awake, probably from me getting up. She came to the balcony and observed them as they slowly moved towards the front of the ship. They appeared to rise a little and passed almost level with the bridge of the ship. The orb on the right moved hard in a maneuver that was almost a 90-degree turn at high speed and then stopped and came back over the top of the orb and then came back underneath and resumed station on the other. They then began a climbing right turn to the east and seemed to merge and then at a very high rate of speed vanished. To my estimate of size, they appeared to me to be between 5 and 10 feet in diameter, but distance is hard to estimate in the dark of the night. We thought that was the end of it and started to go back in the cabin when I noticed a glow under the water approaching from behind the ship at a high rate of speed. I pointed it out to my wife, and she became frightened at that point and exclaimed, "Oh my god." The glowing object came up to about midship and stayed there for a few seconds and was clearly visible as a glowing orb under the sea. It then turned east and then came back towards the ship, stopped, circled around, and then departed at a high rate of speed back the direction it came from. The speed of these objects and the maneuvers they made were not something we as humans were capable of, or the technology we had.
Mm-hmm.
I am a pilot myself. Needless to say, we did not get back to sleep. After talking, we felt these objects were checking out the ship for whatever reason. That's what it seems like. They were just checking out or just exploring.
Maybe they were just curious.
Yeah. We were close, but I never felt threatened. More amazed than anything. I can't believe the bridge crew did not observe these things as they passed by level with the ship. We went from skeptics to straight alien believers.
Yeah.
It was an amazing, incredible encounter for us.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's also terrifying because you're in the middle of the ocean and there's nowhere to go if the ship just stops working.
And this story, it's just...
And it's interesting how you said it came out of the water.
Yeah.
It's crazy that they can just go anywhere because the ocean is so unexplored. They probably have seen more of the ocean than we have.
Yeah, we've only explored the 10% of the ocean, or maybe less.
Maybe less because it's so big.
Just imagine what
is out there. What is hidden under the ocean, though?
What if there are aliens underneath the ocean?
Oh my gosh, this is just a whole new possibility of theories.
So yeah, the story these people had will be with them for the rest of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to be honest, Jesse, I don't know what reaction I would have if I ever witnessed a UFO sighting.
Me neither. I would just pass out probably.
I know. Obviously what any sane person would do, take out their cell phone and start recording. But I think I would be very excited and amazed.
I would just be in shock. I don't think I would even react. I would just be like they're real?
Yeah, at that moment, my perspective of life would change.
Exactly.
The mysteries, Bigfoot, Mothman, all those legends, I would believe them.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, if aliens are real, Mothman can be real too.
Do you remember that since we were children, we would always watch ghost shows? Or,
ghost adventures.
Just the paranormal, UFOs.
Yeah.
That's why we thought it was so much fun to start a podcast on these topics.
Yeah, because since we were kids, we were fascinated by all these topics.
Yeah, we love everything we do on the show. We have so much fun researching all the different topics, especially this one, and I find it very interesting. There are some stories that I found online that are very strange events, that even for the people who were at that moment were speechless.
Mm-hmm.
This story happened in 1979 in Washington. A man watched a silver triangular aircraft with no discernible fuselage, no wings or other protruding control devices, coast slowly over the top of 150-foot tall poplar trees.
Those are just big trees.
Yeah. So he says a jetliner could not have stayed airborne at such a set rate of speed, he recalled, and this was significantly larger than a Boeing 747.
Yeah, so it was just going real slow,
autopilot
barely even moving.
Yeah. There wasn't much time to wonder about the physics that kept the craft in flight because it was drifting straight toward Birch Mountain. My immediate thought was that a monstrous crash was imminent, the witness explained.
Mm-hmm.
But it never came to pass. Instead, the UFO just disappeared.
Oh. So went into the mountain?
It just disappeared. It just bloop.
Just bloop. Maybe it went invisible. There was a cloaking thing on it.
Ooh. So the New Fork actually vouched for this particular onlooker.
Mm-hmm.
One of two excellent reports from the same witness. They wrote in a note below his report, "We know this witness and have spoken with him on several occasions. He formerly served in the U.S. military and held a high security clearance."
Okay.
So the New Fork side actually responded to this witness.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, yeah, this is true because this guy It's not the first time that he reports something, and
There were other people who reported something similar?
yeah. Now, this one event, according to Villas Boas, he's a Brazilian.
Mm-hmm.
It was a sexual encounter out of this world.
Whoa. Okay.
According to Villas Boas, on the night of October 16th, while he was plowing fields with his tractor, he was taken into a spaceship by a group of ETs measuring about 5 feet tall. He was put in a room and saw gas coming out of the walls. The gas made him very sick. Then a very attractive female, naked, with long platinum blonde hair, fire red pubic hair, and deep blue cat eyes came and forced him to have intercourse.
Whoa, okay. What?
Yeah, according to Villas Boas, her intentions were quite clear.
Yeah.
To produce a human alien hybrid that she would race on her planet. I don't know. This guy's just...
maybe this guy's a little...
Yeah.
I don't know.
So after he got back, Villas Boas noted that he had burns on his body. A doctor from a reputable medical center diagnosed them as being radiation burns.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's a little weird.
Yeah, this doctor, Olavo Fontes, had contacts with the American UFO Research Group. Villas Boas had no recollection how he got the burns.
Whoa, okay. That's... Okay, it's a little crazy, but the radiation thing is a little weird. I don't know.
Was it true or was it false?
We don't know.
Perhaps
Maybe he did create a baby human alien
hybrid. Perhaps all this, what we tell you, is nothing more than the pure truth, or not.
Or maybe it's just a wild imagination.
Yeah, exactly. So now with the internet and all these platforms and technology that we have available today, it's harder to hide the truth, right?
Yeah.
But in 1947, it was another story when a man, a boy, and his dog in a boat witnessed a strange anomaly in the sky. And a man in a black suit appeared the following day and changed this man's life.
The man in black?
Yes, the man in black. But before we tell the story, let's talk a little bit about these men in black. Mm-hmm. Who are they and what is their role? So in pop culture and UFO conspiracy theories, men in black are supposed men dressed in black suits who claim to be quasi-government agents.
Yeah.
Quasi-government means that an organization is supported by the government but managed privately.
Yeah.
The role of these so-called agents is to harass, threaten, or sometimes even assassinate UFO witnesses to keep them quiet about what they have seen.
That is terrifying.
Please
stay away. Don't come near me.
The term is also frequently used to describe mysterious men working for unknown organizations, as well as various branches of government allegedly tasked with protecting secrets or performing other strange activities.
Mm-hmm.
Several alleged encounters with the men in black have been reported by UFO researchers and enthusiasts and have supposedly appeared throughout different moments in history.
Okay.
Folklorist James R. Lewis compares accounts of men in black with tales of people encountering Lucifer.
Oh.
Yeah, and speculates that they can be considered a kind of psychological trauma.
Okay.
Because when people meet these mysterious men, they are never the same.
Yeah, they erase their memories, don't they?
They threaten them. Like, if you say or give us all the evidence you have,
and if you say something,
or we're gonna end,
we will know.
Yeah, we're gonna end your career, or we're gonna kill your family, or we're gonna kill you.
Damn.
So that's why they consider them like a kind of psychological trauma.
Okay.
So they are no joke.
Yeah.
Although some people believed they were only made up to cause fear to the public. And so now that we know a little about this organization, let's get to the story. As the story goes, Harold Dahl was on the conservation mission on the Puget Sound near the eastern shore of Washington's Murray Island, gathering logs when he saw 6 donut-shaped obstacles hovering about half a mile above his boat. Before long, one of them fell nearly 1,500 feet, followed by raining metallic debris, some of which hit Dahl's son,
Oh.
Charles, on his arm, as well as the family dog,
Oh no.
who didn't survive.
Oh no.
Dahl was able to take some pictures of the aircraft with his camera, which he later showed to his supervisor, Fred Chrisman.
Mm-hmm.
A skeptical Chrisman went back to the scene to look for himself and saw a strange aircraft with his own eyes.
Oh.
The following morning, Dahl was visited by a man in a black suit. They end up at a local diner where the man was able to recount in extraordinary detail what Dahl had just experienced.
Okay.
So the man in black just
Knew what happened.
knew what happened. So what I have said is proof to you that I know a great deal more about this experience of yours than you will want to believe, the man said.
Mm-hmm.
According to author Gray Barker's 1956 book, they knew too much about flying saucers.
Okay.
That's the name of the book. So Dahl was told not to speak of the incident. If he did, bad things would happen. Not long after the encounter with the man in black, Dahl claimed that the whole thing was a hoax, but recanted years after, having allegedly made the first confession against his will. So he was like, "No, it was just
Yeah, I was just kidding. It was I just wanted attention.
I don't know
whatever.
where I saw, but that's after the visit."
Yeah, that was after he was
Mr.
threatened.
Yeah. Specifically, the mention of the man in the black suit would evolve into a key obsession for UFO enthusiasts and spread into American pop culture, thanks to a comic book series and a blockbuster movie trilogy under the same name, starring Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones.
Yes.
So, in all of their different incarnations, the men in black usually have one main purpose: to muzzle witnesses of strange, paranormal phenomena. They almost always wear black suits and hats with dark sunglasses, drive black cars, and arrive in groups of 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
Some describe them as an FBI agent look-alike, while others recall the men in black as having strange appearances, sometimes with supernatural features like glowing eyes and strange complexions. So maybe they're even
That's what I'm
aliens.
thinking. Maybe they're an alien organization out there who doesn't want
people to know
people
they're
to
real.
know they're real.
Yeah. Dahl and Crimson reached out to a Chicago magazine in an attempt to sell their story, and the magazine editor then contacted Arnold, hoping he could help verify their account. Arnold then summoned 2 officers of Army A2 intelligence to aid in the investigation of Dahl and Crimson's claim.
Mm-hmm.
According to the report, in July 1947, 2 Army A2 intelligence officers came to investigate the site. After leaving in their B-25 the next day, the plane caught fire and crashed, killing both officers and doing nothing to quiet UFO conspiracists.
Okay.
Conspiracists.
The people who believe in UFOs.
Yeah. Yeah, people who believe in UFOs.
Yes.
So these black-suited mystery men were often described as 3 men in black suits with threatening expressions on their faces.
Oh.
3 men who walk in on you and make certain demands. 3 men who knew that you know what the saucers really are.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Bender, in his own 1962 book, Flying Saucers, and The 3 Men, described the men in black in much more frightening language. Quote, "They floated about a foot off the floor. They looked like clergymen, but wore hats similar to Hamburg style. The faces were not clearly discernible, for the hats partly hid and shaded them. The eyes of all 3 figures suddenly lit up like flashlight bulbs. They seemed to burn into my very soul as the pains above my eyes became almost unbearable."
Oh.
End quote. So, the men in black always appear unannounced. In many cases, the men in black have also seen aliens in some accounts. They are aliens themselves or some form of demonic supernaturals.
Maybe they're just aliens.
Maybe they're just demons.
Maybe they're just. God, I hope not. It's terrifying.
I know. But why would the government want to suppress information about UFOs?
Yeah.
As the theory goes, it's because aliens are closer to us than you think.
Yeah.
They might actually be everywhere. And if ordinary citizens realized just how real the threat was, there would be a mass panic and a breakdown of the social order.
There would be, yeah.
Some folklorists, however, claim that the whole idea of Men in Black is itself a form of mass panic or of psychological drama due to suggestibility and a willingness to believe. Others, however, insist the Men in Black are part of a real government agency designed to prevent the public from learning the truth about UFOs. They also insist that their experiences are real and that anyone who thinks they're crazy is merely a tool of government propaganda and manipulation.
Oh.
So at the moment, there is no way to definitely declare whether the Men in Black are real or not, because if they are part of a secret government agency, they may not have entirely kept the secret, but they've prevented any conclusive evidence of their existence from leaking out to the public.
Yeah, it's the government. They're pretty good at keeping things sort of secret. So overall, these stories and claims that we made in this episode, we don't know if they're true or not.
But we want them to be
We want them
true.
to be true. I really do believe that there is alien life out there. With the advance in our technology and just how many more planets have been tested or found or discovered that can be possible to hold life in them.
Yeah. And it's just so much information. Like my head is my brain is about to blow up.
I am fried from how much information I found and how much information I just found from you too.
Yeah.
That it's just
you look up something and then that little something would take you to some other thing.
And it's just a rabbit hole of theories and information.
Yeah, but it just overall it's very interesting, and we hope you guys liked it.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for sticking around if you have gotten all the way to the end. This is a long one. We apologize, but it is also like there was just so much.
Yeah, and we hope you found these stories very interesting. Is there life on another plane of existence? Maybe. I don't think we're alone in this gigantic universe.
No, there's so many galaxies.
Yeah, we have only discovered 4% of the space, which consists of stars, galaxies, and planets.
Yeah.
The other 94% remains a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
Black energy, or dark matter as they are known. Maybe one of these mysterious beings will make themselves known to the public one day when we least expect it.
Yeah, maybe we won't even be around for it anymore.
Yeah, maybe it's going to be in 2 hours that
or
they
2
decide.
million years.
Or 2 million years. We don't know.
Who knows if the planet will still even be here in 2 million years.
Yeah. So, thank you, Jesse, for being here. It was a very fun episode.
It was a fun episode.
It was a long episode, but it was worth it.
Yes.
And thank you, everybody, for listening once again. We will be back next week for a Spanish episode.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys have an interesting topic you would like us to touch base on, let us know on social media or our Disconnected Pod email.
Yes.
thedisconnectedpod@gmail.com.
Yeah, and if you have seen aliens, encountered aliens, been abducted, please let us know.
Yeah. Have you had like a sexually
Oh gosh, don't let us know about that. Please do not email us with that. I will delete them and never talk about it.
We love the details.
No,
so
no.
Be specific.
Don't. That's so creepy.
Anyways, thank you for the support. We love and appreciate you guys. This has been the Disconnected Podcast with Angel and Jesse. See you next time, family. Bye.
Goodbye.